Hello and welcome to Restore 2022. Today we are reading from 1 Samuel chapters 21 and 22. And in coming into this particular section, we're dealing with David on the run for his life. He's hopeless. He's a nervous fugitive. From Shiloh, he's moved to Nob, which is the city of priests. He has to run for a shelter and actually lies to Ahimelech, the priest, who's trembling when he sees David, but receives him and helps him as someone who's on a secret mission from the king, and provides with him special bread that actually it's designated to be eaten only by priests on Sabbath, according to Leviticus 24. Now, it's difficult to locate the tabernacle since the capture of the ark, but we're assuming that is here in Nob, because that's where the priests are. But the last time we heard of the ark was in chapter 7, and the ark was in Kiriath Jearim. Now, we need to bear in mind in these chapters that Saul is the rejecting king, and he's becoming very paranoid about that. And David is raising to be the next king, but he's the anointed one. But he's on the run for his life. And trying to deal with this, he is being deceptive. And this is costing him and lives of many other people, as we would see in chapter 22. And he is always on the move. And now from Nob, he moves to the city of Gath. And Achish discovers his identity there. David pretends to be a madman, and he escapes with that. But at the same time, we read Psalm 56, and there in Gath he writes about this psalm that he says, "In God I trust; I should not be afraid. What can men do to me? I must perform my vows to you, O God. I'll render thank offerings to you, for you have delivered me. You've delivered my soul from death. Yes, my feet were falling, but now I may walk before God in the light of life." And then we move to chapter 22 of 1 Samuel. And David is still hiding for his life. He's moved now to the wilderness of Adullam, where he has been joined by other social outcasts like himself and his family as well. He arranged to care for his family in Moab, and he hides in the forest of Hereth, and he gets advice there from prophet Gad. But he is able to find a shelter for his family in Moab because he comes from the family of Moab, with Ruth as grandmother, but also Moab hated Saul. And it is in this story where we know that Doeg reports about Ahimelech's goodness, and Saul, being paranoid, he thinks that Ahimelech is conspired with David against him, and he orders the killing of all the priests of the Lord. But the guards refuse to obey, they don't want to harm the Lord's servants, they say. But Doeg, the Edomite, who is the spy, had no regard for the Lord, and he carries out the king's commands. And it's only one person, Abiathar, the son of Ahimelech, that escapes to David's camp and is under David's protection. Now, these events are complex and layered with different emotions. And it would be easy to judge and sit here and judge David and say, hey, he took the matters in his hands and should have not been afraid. But yet, in the same time, we have an example of someone who messed up and yet put his faith in God, even when the story of his life did not match yet what God had promised.